Let's go. Let's go. Peace, family. Peace, peace. Make sure we live on all three. All right, so we live IG, TikTok, YouTube, family, major live. Okay, make sure you share, family. Make sure you share. We've been getting a lot of questions like, how do I do this? How do I begin this? What is this? Is this even real? Yada yada yada. And again, we're coming forth again to basically do a breakdown for those that are, just new here that don't understand where the value comes from. We're not squatting, all right. We're not performing all obligations. All right. So make sure y'all share, fam, because I know there's a lot of folks that needs questions, all right, or needs answers, all right, that has questions. I know a lot of folks is saying to themselves, man, it sounds too good to be true. And, I'm honored to be able to relay this information, y'all. Again, I don't compare myself to nobody. I'm not here to try to be like no one because most of the people that I meet do not understand what security interest is. So, again, I'm not here to act like I don't know this information. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to hide that I know this information, okay? So we're gonna break some of this information down today. Of course, I want y'all to have y'all notes ready. All right, so I'm gonna be on here for about 45 minutes. Okay, we're going straight into it. Make sure you get your notes. Make sure you share, fam. At least do a share for me. Somebody says, is this really live? Yes, we are live. We are live and direct. Okay, so make sure you get your pens. All right, if you can, grab a contract. If you can, mortgage, lease, car contract. All right, but we're gonna be breaking it down. So we live on TikTok, YouTube, IG. All right, make sure y'all share. Okay. First and foremost, how many of y'all have bills? Comment 8 if you have bill. All right, it could be a phone bill, car note, mortgage, lease. Just comment the number 8. All right, because again, you're gonna learn something today, family. If you don't learn nothing today, you're really just here for the wrong reasons. You're probably gonna be a person somewhere along the line is gonna start trolling, asking me questions about my chain, is it real, and things like that. Y'all know how they start asking questions. All right, but if you have bills and you comment 8 and you pay attention by the end of this live, you will have some information that you never heard before and something that you can build on. All right. Again, it's not about me. Everybody keep trying to ask, is he living this life? Is he actually endorsing his bills? Is he actually, y'all, none of that matters. All right. Rather I'm doing it or rather I'm not doing it. All right. Focus on your contract. All right. Of course I am doing it, but I'm saying, right, you trying to think to yourself, is it real? Is he a fake? Is he a scam? I heard someone said that he lost the case before. All right. But the same people that's telling you I lost the case, why didn't they tell you about the cases I've won? All right. It's like they don't never tell you that other part. All right. So if that's what you are falling on or letting limit you from reading your own contract. And also I see a lot of people that comment and say things like, well, where are all the testimonies? All right, y'all gotta remember we've been at this for almost 5 years now. All right, and a lot of my folks that have results, they don't really care to prove that they have results because they understand a lot of people just tell them, hey, Mansell probably paid you to say that. And I never was a person that needed testimonies and things like that because I could read for myself. I could read my car contract and it says I gave a security interest. All right, I don't really need somebody to say, well, I did it, for me to say, okay, now I can do it. Because most people that wait on that, even if they see it, they still not going to do it. How do I know? Because I'm someone that actually lives it. And if I show someone that's close to me and they not tapping in or, you know what I'm saying, I've seen that. Okay, so a lot of y'all are saying, well, I got to see it first. You see a lot of things. You still don't apply it. You still don't go at it. You see it and say, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then you start seeing like, oh, damn, I got to study. What? I got to read. Why can't I just go and ask for it and they give it to me? It don't work like that. You got to understand the full process. It's 2 processes in one. It's a private administrative process, and then there's a public administrative process. All right, I've won and I've lost, family. All right, I don't know who told y'all I've won every single case, but no. All right, but no. All right, but I've never lost a case where they just kind of won and I never did nothing, but I always appeal. All right, so when I say lost, I'm talking about losing in the lower court and having to appeal it to a higher court. All right. Now we're not distracted by other people's opinion. We just understand this is like brand brand new information for a lot of people. You know, some people expect the person to relay this message to look a certain way. I know they don't expect somebody to have, you know, face tats, neck tats, you know, using ebonics a lot. All right, they're not expecting that. They're expecting someone else to bring this information. And, you know, I feel honored to be able to fill those shoes like, yo, it's not going to look like that. All right, so just take the message as you go. All right, take the message as you go. It doesn't matter what the messenger look like. All I'm doing is telling you to read your contract. Now imagine rebutting me and saying, man, that stuff don't work. You haven't even read your contract. You haven't even read your lease before you sign it. I remember being uninformed. I remember just signing stuff just so I can get it, then telling folks, thank you, God, I got this, I got that, thank you, thank you. You start putting it on your Snapchat and telling all your family, showing your keys and stuff like that. All right, and then a month later, you whining and complaining about the bill. You see what I'm saying? So when you understand what's really going on, all right, you will see that I am not misleading you. I'm not telling you nothing wrong. I'm not telling you to squat. I'm not telling you to abandon all your obligations. No, I'm telling you to perform your obligations on a lawful level. All right. So of course I go against landlords and property managers that don't understand this. Do y'all think they scare me? Do y'all think I care what a landlord has to say? The best thing a landlord can tell me is, well, let me learn how to do this so I can benefit too. Because if we go to court, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. The landlord is going to say, well, he didn't pay. And I'm going to say, well, I have tried to perform, Your Honor. I sent him a tender of payment. All right. It's not my fault that the landlord or property managers don't understand the law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You see what I'm saying? So I seen some people that was saying things like, damn, he's a landlord's worst nightmare. Not really, because I have nothing to do with the landlord. All right. All this is with the bank. A lot of people don't even understand how the landlord does business. And it's so easy to see how many of y'all landlords aren't doing business correctly when y'all come forth and say things. All right. Because I know that the rent is supposed to be held at a financial institution anyway. So as far as a landlord, all right, if I'm sending you a tender of payment, why aren't you sending that to the financial institution? Why are you holding it, trying to figure out what it is? You see what I'm saying? You don't understand what it is. And if you get an attorney, they're not going to understand what it is. All right. So the worst thing an attorney or a landlord can do is, well, I'm going to get my attorney to file eviction. Let's go. All right. I'm battle tested. Okay. Let's go. All right. Because all they're going to do is submit the lease and say, well, you signed the lease saying you will pay. And I'm going to say, well, objection. I did pay. I paid by way of performance. I tendered a payment for the full 12-month lease. I sent it certified mail. I got my proof. The landlord is telling me no. All right. And then the landlord is still coming back to me trying to collect. Like, what are we doing here, Your Honor? You see what I'm saying? And again, it's not going to happen that smoothly. It's going to be some fighting in there. All right. But that's the mindset you got to have. All right. So, of course, somebody on the outside that's been paying their rent out of income going to look at me and say, man, this guy's a clown, man. This guy, man, I ain't hearing this. Instead, they still be on the page. They still be intrigued, because one thing I know about the subconscious is always intrigued. All right, y'all ever notice that? Y'all ever see people that be coming, man, this stuff is trash, but they still be watching. They still be watching. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. That lets you know I'm talking to their subconscious. Their higher selves is saying, hey, man, keep your bum ass here so you can hear what this man is saying. All right, the lower you was trying to crack jokes and be the class clown, and you can't even be a class clown because you really ain't supposed to be in this class. To be honest with you. To be honest with you. All right, but to each his own. All right, now understanding eviction. All right, I'm coming forth. All right, I'm letting them know I'm leveraging my security collateral. Now, what is the security collateral? All right, what is security collateral? Now, how many of y'all have leases or mortgages, right? How many of y'all submitted an application? Comment 8 if you submitted an application. Okay. All right, there we go. We got folks to submit an application. Now, let me ask y'all this. And some of y'all just been following, you already know the follow-up question. How many of y'all sent in instructions with the application? I'm going to say that one more time. How many of y'all submitted instructions with the application. I want you to comment 7 if you did not submit instructions with your application. Please be honest, family. All right, please be honest, family. Comment 7 if you did not submit instructions along with your application. So me, I'm like, man, what is he talking about? What instructions? Exactly. Okay. So just stay with me. All right. Exactly. Okay. So stay with me. Stay with me. All right. Hold on. Stay with me. All right. So for y'all that are comment 7, all right, for y'all those that comment 7, all right. So let me tell you what happened. And I've done it before as well. Okay, I've done it before as well. I didn't know this. I didn't. No one was telling me on camera, "Hey, peasant, you need to put instruction." Nobody was telling me that. Okay, so what was supposed to happen? You were supposed to submit an application. You did that first part, but the second part, you were supposed to submit instructions. All right, you were supposed to submit instructions. Now, what are these instructions? You were supposed to tell them how to utilize your application. It's actually a small, it's actually, well, not, I'm gonna say small. It's actually a very simple issue to fix. Just imagine giving somebody some money and you don't tell them what to do with the money. Imagine you tell somebody, hey man, I need you to go to the store for me right quick, and you give them a $100 bill, but you don't tell them what to get at the store. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what we're doing. We're coming to these corporations. We're giving them or gifting them applications without instructions. Now, how many people are married? How many of us are married here? Okay, comment 8 if you are married. All right, for those that are married, you understand if you don't do something, your better half can do it for you. Okay, meaning if you're not home, let's say somebody is there for your wife and you're there instead, and they say, hey, we really need this to be signed by someone, you can sign on behalf of your wife or vice versa. All right, it's no different in business when you're signing up for a lease, a mortgage. All right, you are now married to that corporation. It's not a bad thing. It's just now you got to understand whatever I don't do, they're going to do on my behalf. So let me give you an example. All right, so all y'all that submitted an application with no instructions, you got to remember, persuade to the Federal Reserve Section 16. Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 1. It talks about how all applications are received by national and member banks. All right. Now, understanding this, that means your application is received, meaning it's not denied. It's received. You don't even see the word denied in the Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 1 or Part 2. All right. So if any bank or any property manager ever decline you, it's only because you don't know how to leverage your security collateral. All right. But back to it. So after we submit our application, we're supposed to give instructions. When we don't give instruction, that leaves the door open for our better half, our other half, meaning the corporation, to come forth in what the Bill of Exchange calls it, fill it up. All right, fill it up. All right, meaning filling up that security collateral, because all we did was give them an application, but did not give them any instructions. So what they do is add their instructions to our application. When you put that together, family, you have yourself a security collateral. That security collateral is then sent over to a bank. All right, then it creates security interest. All right, remember, you were the one that originated the whole consumer credit transaction. The banks are the borrowers. All right. That's why it's so important for you to understand your rights. Instead of you trying to work, instead of you trying to laugh at me and call me crazy, you need to go read your contract. Okay. No one can never call me crazy, somebody that don't even read their contract. Y'all know how many people out here is working on their credit. So y'all gonna see a lot of people throw stones at me, y'all. But I'm built to last. Okay, that's one thing they don't understand. I'm built to last. All right, there's gonna be a lot of folks that do credit repair that y'all gonna see start throwing stones at me. Y'all gonna see a lot of folks in the real estate business that's gonna start throwing stones at me. And it's all because I'm trying to inform people that is not the right way. All right, you don't have to have a credit score, high credit score, low credit score. All you need to focus on is how to leverage your security collateral that you provide. You're the one that give it to the financial institution. The financial institution does not loan you anything. So why are we trying to look good for the banks? I don't care to look good for the banks. Why? Because I understand the banks are my borrowers. All right. And so if I'm the plug, why would I need to look good for some runners? Okay, really think about that. All right, I know some of y'all ain't never thought about y'all trying to look good for the banks. Y'all trying to go through the loan officer because the loan officer telling you we need a high credit score because the banks like this when they see this. That you trying to appease to these borrowers. Okay, and again, once you learn more, you start can do more. Or should I say, once you learn more, you do less. All right, meaning you stop proving. Okay, it ain't no showing bank statements and proof of funds. Like, who's doing that? All right, that's discrimination. I'm telling you, I got the money. All right, I'm telling you, I'm using my security collateral. Why do you need to see bank statements? Now I feel like you're judging me. Now I'm about to pull the race card. I'm gonna say, is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm black? Okay. You want to see my, even though I know that's not the reason. All right, you want to see my bank account? You want to see my proof of funds? Is it because I'm black? They gonna be like, Mr. Mahatha, no, Mr. Mahatha, no, that's not what we're saying. It's just our policy. We have to see certain things. Well, I'm telling you, I got it. My word shall be my bond. What else is necessary? The Federal Reserve Section 16 states that my application is receivable by all national banks. I came to this national bank, Chase, because I understand that this Federal Reserve Section 16 will go right in hand with your national bank. All right. And I see that y'all received it. All right. And I also see that it's supposed to be for the value of whatever it is I apply for. Okay. So what are we doing? And I'm following all that out all the way to my court case, family. I'm not caring what they say. They're going to be pushing policy and I'm going to be pushing law. Okay? And may the best case win when we go to court. If the lower courts don't agree with me, that's fine. I will appeal. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. There's no losing this. So when they see, oh my gosh, he lost. Okay, did you see what happened with the appeal? Did you? I don't think you did because you don't even know how to read court documents, okay? You don't know how to read settlements. You don't understand when the landlord settles with you, okay? When the landlord settles, especially the landlord that settled with me in Florida, all right? That it don't show on the public record as saying, hey, we settled out. He's going to give, like, come on, no. All right, whoever initiated the case will just basically pull back because there was a settlement that was reached. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all listen to certain people that don't even know law, all right? I'm talking about there's so many folks that try to come at me that don't even know law. What's the dude name? Pocket Watcher. All right, I get a lot of y'all coming in. I'm trying to tell you, did y'all really think I was gonna go somewhere? That was 3 years ago. And they say, he's still out here teaching? Yes, Goofy. All right. Yes, because I teach law. I don't teach policies and no, we teach law. Okay, that's why I'm not going. That's why I wasn't going anywhere. And then people kept saying that he's gonna be locked up soon. I was like, how long are you gonna be holding your nuts until I get locked up? Okay, how long? Okay, like I'm about to retire here in a few. Okay, I'm like, what are y'all still waiting on? It took you that long to read your own contract? Y'all still waiting for me to get locked up? You see what I'm saying? And I tried to tell them this when all this was happening. I said, all people do when they create exposing videos of me, all they do is bring people to my channel. And I meet them head on. I don't run from them. I meet them head on. Okay, and I let them know, what else you want to know, peasant? All right, did you read it? I troll back with them. And then they wait 3 years. 3 years and say, he's still out here teaching that mumbo jumbo. And I'd be like, yes, peasant, we're still out here getting results. Yes, peasant, there's always a new person coming through those doors trying to learn some information because they're tired of working. All right? But back to it. All right, security collateral. Anytime you have an application, when you submit instructions with your application, when you put that together, it creates a security collateral. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. Okay. Application, instructions. Put it together, you have a security collateral. Okay, once that security collateral is created, you need to come forth and claim your rights to the security collateral. Now, why am I saying collateral instead of security interest? Even though it's interchangeable, but there's a lot of times these corporations will say, you don't have a security interest. There is no interest. What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, we're gonna play that game. Cool. All right. I'll claim the security collateral then. You see what I'm saying? Like, so now when they say, well, there is not a security collateral, I'm like, come on now, come on now. Are you going, and I'll be like, are you gonna say that in court? Because I hope you say that in court. All right, I need you to say that loud and proud, attorney, that there is no security collateral. Because if there is no security collateral, there is no performance that needs to be made. You see what I'm saying? There is no performance that needs to be made. If there is no security collateral, there is no performance. That's why there is a security collateral. And once you understand your application, accompanied with instructions, put it together, creates a security collateral, you can come forth and claim the rights to that security collateral. All right. How much is the value of the security collateral? That's why we have to resort back to the Federal Reserve, Section 16, Part 1, Part 2, actually, where it says in no event. All right. This is in Part 2, like 3/4 at the bottom. It says in no event shall the security collateral be less than the Federal Reserve notes applied for. So if I'm applying for a credit card and I'm telling them I would like to apply for a $100,000 limit, all right, that right there lets them know that my application is worth no less than $100,000 plus my instructions and telling them what to do with the application. I'm literally telling them with my application, I want you to transfer that to the account and get it paid in full. All right. Now, I have their instructions. I have their instructions as their boss, as their owner. Now, if they basically go against my instructions, now, again, this is not legal advice, but lawful awareness. Now I can pull the breach of fiduciary duty. I can pull unjust enrichment. I can pull security fraud, because security fraud is anytime someone mismanages your security. No, a lot of y'all don't even understand. You give out security almost every single month. All right. But the problem is a lot of us don't come back and claim it. Some people say it's called correcting your status, but I know people that quote unquote correct their status and they're still working the job and they don't have no results. So correcting the status on paper has nothing to do with correcting the status in capacity wise. You have to have a level of consciousness to even be able to combat some of the things that they pushing at us. All right, because throwing some pieces of paper together that you don't copy from a classroom does not bring you to consciousness, family. And that's why you see so many people that say wild things like, I've been on this journey for so long, I still don't have results. Well, that's because you follow so many different groups. All right, it's because you're not reading your own damn documentation. You're trying to jump in groups, ask Stanley, hey, Stanley, how's you going? Did you do that? I'll wait for you to do it. That's what you're doing. You're not a pioneer. You're a follower. Okay, you wait for me to get on these cameras and tell you exactly what to do. You don't get off this camera and then go straight to study. Some of y'all do, but majority of y'all don't. So you wait for the next cheap class to come out. All right, and then when the price gets put up and then you say, oh, wait a minute, you're not for your people. No, you're not for your people because you're not even reading your own documentation. And you walk your ass outside that door every day and give your opinion on the world. All right, just imagine that. Imagine non-readers waking up every day, walking their ass out the damn door, and then giving an opinion on the economy. All right? So it's not me. All right? It's not me. I'm not the weirdo. All right? I'm not the scammer. The people that wake up and go to work every day and try to convince people this law isn't real. It's real scammers. It's like some of y'all are unconsciously hired agents. You don't even know it. I could say, hey, reach contract. You can say, hey, man, didn't they expose him back 3 years ago? Like, where? What are you talking about? And if they did, what do they got to do with your contract? All right, I'm about to start saying that. Even if I did get exposed, all right, that's what you want to run with. Cool. Is that going to stop you from reading your contract that says you gave the banks a security collateral? If looking at me as a scammer has to get you to reading your contract, so be it, man. Let me be the biggest one. All right, throw it on me. All right, but if that's what you got to get past to read your own damn documents, all right, lay it on me. All right, call me whatever you want. But at the end of the day, at least go read your contract, because that's free. I'm not charging you on that. That's free. All you got to do is read. It's going to say, hey, you give us a security collateral in the property. That lets you know you gave them something. That goes back to the application Even though you didn't give a tender, they created a tender, all right? But now you can come forth and claim the security interest on that security collateral. All right. Now, again, it's going to take you some time to learn this because just knowing the private administrative process, and when we say private administrative process, we're talking about documentation directly to the corporation. So let's say I'm having an issue or a dispute with Chase. That's me going to Chase, letting them know I'm coming forth to claim my security collateral. That's Chase saying no or Chase ignoring me. That's me sending my second wave, my opportunity to cure. That's Chase ignoring me or saying no again. Then now my third wave is me letting them know this is default judgment. This is your last chance to make this right. I'm sending my notice to it, intent to litigate. All right, just basically building my whole process. All right, that's the private administrative process. After we exhaust all resources in our private administrative process, we are then transferring that to a public administrative process. And this is where a lot of folks get lost. This is where a lot of folks stop. This is where a lot of folks quit. This is where a lot of folks start pointing fingers at people, calling them scammers. He didn't help me. That person. This is where people get lost in the public administrative process. This is where a lot of people think they have to hire a lawyer. I would never hire a lawyer another day in my life. My kids would never, as long as I can help it, my kids would never hire a lawyer another day in their life ever, okay? Because once we get to the public process, we're operating from a pro se standpoint. And when you operating from a pro se standpoint, the courts expect you to be moving as if you had 20 years experience. All right, meaning you can't come in there and say, this is my first case, so just give me a break. Come on now, this is not for the pity pat, chit chat, patty whack, give up a dog a bone. This ain't Sesame Street and this ain't Barney, okay? This is for the high level investors. This is for the wealth. This is for the 1% of the 1%, all right? Because 99.9% of people go get attorneys. 99.9% of people do not read their contracts at all, okay? At all. All right. Now, when you get to the public administrative process, y'all remember we was talking about breach of fiduciary duty, unjust enrichment, security fraud for mismanaging our securities. Now we compile all our evidence from the private administrative process. Remember, from me and Chase. All right, we're compiling all that, keeping all our receipts, and now we're going over to our courthouse. Again, we can go lower, we can go superior. All right, I'm going to recommend you to fight through your channels. Start from the lower court and work your way up just so you can really get some experience. Even though I know I've been teaching folks, especially like year and a half ago, go straight federal. All right. But I'm here today to say go lower. If you don't get the answer you want, appeal it to the higher courts. OK, do your chain of command. And that way, you know, you kind of learning everything, because a lot of y'all don't understand lower courts. A lot of y'all don't understand higher courts. You're just going off what people are telling y'all, and you're not even really doing any experience testing. All right, go lose. All right, I had to lose before I could win. I had to understand how to win. You don't just learn this, and then go and win. No, you can learn it all day. You can be an information junkie all day. You can buy all my classes all day. All right, but if you do not go to court for yourself and actually see how things is ran, all right, you're always going to have something. It's always going to be something missing. All right, and that missing piece that you are missing is the experience. You getting up off your ass, going down to the court, found that for yourself, you might have a little debate with the clerk, okay? Clerk might say, oh, no, I'm not taking this. You might have that. You got to go through that, Joe, okay? You got to go through them telling you, no, hey, you can't put this in. Hey, you got to go through a bunch of no's, family. That's how you get your confidence. That's how you start building your character. A lot of y'all is... Man, I gotta say it, man. A lot of y'all some cupcakes, man. Like I gotta say it, man. You're some cupcakes, man. It's Kool-Aid cupcakes. Okay, sweet. All right, you're sweet out here. All right, somebody tell you no, you start being scared. You start asking questions like, "Can I get in trouble because of this?" Like, come on, man. You're sweet. You're cupcake. All right, you're cake. All right. Only people that get in trouble is minors. All right, what I look like getting in trouble because I'm using my own security interests. Like, come on, what are we doing? All right, we're grown. All right, we're grown. We're grown-ups. Remember, anybody that's over the age of 18, you are looked at as an adult. So the word trouble is only for workers, okay? When you not on your post and your boss come around that corner, you get the you start losing your breath and shit. Okay, yeah, that's for workers. Man, you know, when you a boss, you don't worry about, man, you don't worry about stuff like that. I remember me when I used to be on my phone, then your supervisor walk around the corner, you try, grown ass man hiding your phone. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I look back, I'm like, man, how could I? Okay. All right, I'm appalled. Okay. All right, truly disgusted by my ways. All right, because I could just only think my kids watching their dad hide his damn phone. Okay, what? All right, and I hope that motivates y'all. All right, because some of y'all probably in the bathroom right now hiding. Okay, I use the same thing. You don't got to do that no more. All right, I'm here to tell you, you are a wealthy child. You are a wealthy child. Okay, you just got to learn how to utilize your wealth and start moving like an adult. All right, first thing first, security collateral, leveraging it in your accounts. Okay, from there, from the accounts, now if they say no, we have proof that we performed. Soon as you show proof that you performed, you don't got to do nothing else. It ain't no extra. Should I send this in so I can make it a little bit more powerful? Should I send this in? Should I change my name? Should I put ecclesiastical trust of the great goddess of all be all? Man, no. Okay, none of that stuff matters. All right, if you don't know how to piece together a case, put it together. All right, make it make sense for the judge to be able to follow it. All right, you're not going to get results, family. You're going to be these folks that's just been saying, I've been knowing this information. Knowing it and living it, two different things, all right? I'm sure some of y'all know millionaires on TV, but knowing a millionaire and being a millionaire, it's two different things, okay? Two different things. And I'm here to motivate y'all, okay? I'm here to say, y'all have money that you don't even recognize. Oh my God, I just had chills. I ain't never heard nobody say that before, but yeah. A lot of y'all have money that you don't even recognize. You know how I recognized it? Federal Reserve, Section 16, Part 1. Part 2, it told me whatever I apply for is no less for what I need. And then it even goes a little further. When you read the bottom of Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 2, when you read the bottom, it also says, in any case, I'm paraphrasing, that the financial institution needs additional security, they can go to the Federal Reserve. Meaning, if I apply for 100,000, but let's say I needed 110,000. Guess what they can do? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. All right. One huge advice I would give a lot of y'all, stop trying to figure out how much money is in these accounts. Can somebody please tell me what is the benefits of knowing how much is in your account? Can anybody tell me the benefits of knowing how much are in these accounts? Tell me, what is the benefit? Because I don't see any benefits. All I see is negatives. You see a number you can't even pronounce. You start having crazy thoughts. You know what I'm saying? The darkness in you start to come out. You start having all kind of just dumb ideas. I'm about to go get a bunch of Rolls Royces and sell them. And it's like, soon as people start trying to figure out the mountain is, they start making plans. Like, I'm about to buy a bunch. I was like, why would you why? If you can create credit on the spot anytime you submit an application, why does it matter how you're going to create income? I got folks in my inbox trying to teach me how to, get multiple streams of income. And I be trying to tell them, like, well, I don't need that because I leverage interest. And they be saying things like, well, I knew you was going to say that, but I can show you how. And I be like, shut up. Get out my inbox. Okay? All right? Like, this is real freedom, family. Trying to find income is another slavery. You got some people that has 4 streams of income. It was one point in time people was having 3 jobs. Y'all remember when Everybody Hate Chris? His daddy had 5 jobs. And his woman didn't care. She used to say, my man got 5 jobs. I'm like, God, what? Okay? So the big question I always get, how do I start? All right? How do I start this process? How do I, family, the number one starter is getting your contract. You can't do shit. Okay? And I have to say that word. I don't like cursing on Sundays or Saturdays. All right? But I had to say that. Okay? You can't do anything until you get your contract in your hands, or at least being able to see it in your email, and you start reading. You read until you sick to your stomach. You read until it gets boring. All right, because all these are phases that you have to phase through. All right, I had to read when my stomach was hurting. I had to read when I got tired of reading it. All right, you're gonna read words that you're just not gonna understand. You gotta keep reading over and over and over. I could have a class right now, not look at no laws and go through Acts as if it's in front of me. Why? Because I read it over and over and over. And when you start reading these contracts over and over, you start seeing like, damn, all these things say the same damn thing. It's almost like all these corporations go off one big ass template. Literally, they're all the same. All right, but when you don't read, all right, when you don't read, you're going to think they're all different. That's what I'm telling you, to read, because there's going to be a point in time where it's all going to look the same. All right, it's all gonna look the same, and you're gonna exactly know how to. You're gonna start building a blueprint. All right, my foundation is security collateral. Did I give them an application? Yes. Did I give them instructions? Yes. Did they say no? Yes. All right, we got us a case. All right, that's how I look at it. But I had to kind of consolidate all the ideas, all the information I was hearing. I stopped following people. I stopped listening to people. And I started reading for myself. I started reading my contracts. All right. There's not a person really on this planet that can say Manson reached out to me to ask the question. I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm just saying, yo, you really don't need no one but yourself reading. And I would say the pro chat GBT, not the free one for you freebies out there. All right. But the one that's $200 a month, I would at least say indulge into that, because that one it can reach a sentient conscious level. And I'm saying this now because I don't really give a damn if they shut down ChatGPT, because I already got me I got me a contingency plan, okay? All right, so yes, you get the plus ChatGPT. It can operate from a sentient consciousness level that a lot of y'all haven't even reached yet. All right, imagine having something smarter than you in your hands, all right? And I think that's a good thing, because you can learn from it, all right, without having fear or anything like that. Some of y'all don't even know what the hell ChatGPT is because you're living under a damn rock. It's 2025. You got artificial intelligence out here to give you answers, give you all the needs to all your wacky questions, okay? Go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what is the security collateral? Hey, if I had the capacity to contract, how would I leverage my security collateral in my mortgage? See, you got to ask better questions. All right, that's where it comes from. You don't ask a good enough questions. The one thing I've realized with this, and I think this was Socrates' philosophy, all right, you learn more from questions. All right, from questions. Just ask a bunch of damn questions, but intelligent questions. All right, not just questions my son be asking me questions. He don't even be thinking. He's like, Dad, what's that? Dad, what's that? Okay, what's that? He'll be pointing himself behind. He'll be like, Dad, what's that? I'm like, boy, you wasn't even looking at that just now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I try to tell him, like, yo, kind of think before you ask a question, all right? Graft it together. Think and then let it out, all right? Because I'm not your person. You can just, and people start to think like that, all right? You can just lay questions on people without thinking. All right, think before you put it out, because the more you think about your question and give it out, the more direct answer you can get. And with these chat GBTs, you have to be direct with your questioning. You can't just say stuff like, wait, how do I get out of my bills? Like, come on, man. It kind of frustrates me, like people even think that they can do it like that. It shows you how childish we are. All right, you got to ask me better questions. Excuse me. All right. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is the prices that I have? Now, I have prices where I handle the accounts for you. All right. Now, somebody asked me, well, why aren't you scared or anything like that? I'm not scared, family, because the more I learn this information, the more I learn that we're supposed to be doing this. This isn't against the law. It's only against the law to people that think this is not supposed to happen. And those people are non-readers. So it's against their moral laws. All right. So I go against a lot of people's moral laws. Moral laws look like this. You should be working to pay bills. Why are you not paying your bills? Why are you teaching people to not pay their bills? Why are you teaching people to, you see what I'm saying? Because I'm going against their moral laws. All right. My moral law is reading, learning, enforcing, and succeeding. All right. That's my moral. If it's not anything in there, I'm going to break your moral laws. Okay. All right. So understand I do have services. I do have mentorships. All right. My last mentorship I will be doing is in September. All right. It's going to be a 5 week, no, 5 week program. 5 week program. Yeah, 5 week program. All right. That price is, and I like to give my price out. I'm not here to hide nothing from you. Because one thing I can't stand is somebody come in my inbox, tell me everything they got going, be sending me notes this long, and then they tell me how much they need me, how much this is gonna save their life, and then I say the price, and I'm like, oh hell nah, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? So I like to go ahead and don't waste your time, so you don't waste my time. So again, all right, I have a mentorship in September. Okay, September is going to be $2,000. We're going over the court process. We're going over how to leverage security interest. We're going over how to program your chat GBT. Okay. All right. A lot of information. That will be my last end all be all mentorship. You can sign up for that. If you're ready to sign up, shoot me a DM. Also, I have one-on-one mentorships. If you don't like classroom, if you don't like everybody around you, and yes, all of these are virtual. All these are virtual mentorships. All right. If you need a one-on-one from me, okay. All right, we can do a 5 week program. All right, but that price is $10,000. All right, well, can't do it this week because right now I'm doing 2 mentorships right now. I'm in the middle of 2 personal ones, but I will be free in 2 weeks for to basically start a new one-on-one mentorship with anybody that signs up. Now, for those that have contract issues, all right, I have what we call contract review service. All right, now what does that look like? All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and we had a class today in my We the People subscription, so I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all the gems that we talked about today. Now, keep in mind, fam, this is not legal advice, but this is lawful awareness. This is for those that are going to move in good faith. This is not for y'all that are looking for sideways, looking for scam, looking for greedy folks. This is not for y'all. Okay, so I have a credit card service. Okay, I also have a mortgage service. I have a trust service. All right, now why am I talking about the credit card service? Because a lot of y'all don't understand the power if you understand how to leverage your security collateral in your credit cards. All right, so let me ask y'all a question. For y'all that do have credit cards, can y'all please comment the number 8? All right, comment 8. For those that have credit cards, comment 8. Okay. All right. All right. So when am I gonna start talking about chancery? Talk about chancery for what? Not saying it's not needed, but we yeah, not saying it's not needed. All right, so for those that's comment 8, it's not getting your business. For those that are comfortable, tell us what's the limit on those credit cards? A chancery court? Well, I haven't needed to use chancery court in any of my situations, and I got results. So I mean. And I'm sure people that only does that will say that's the only way to get results, Just how there's a lot of people that say their process is the only way, but that's not true. 16,000. Okay, cool. All right, so let me ask y'all a question. Imagine if you came forth and leveraged that security collateral on that credit card and got it to revolve every single month. Now, what does revolve mean? All right, self-revolve, all right, meaning it replenish itself, all right, meaning every single month you spend your whole utilization, because I'm telling you to spend your whole utilization, not like these credit repair people telling you to don't only spend 20%, 30%. If I got my money, I'm going to spend 100% of my money. Like, why would I only spend 20% so I can look good for a borrower? You see what I'm saying? Everything we understand about credit is flip, family. The whole APR rate is flip. We don't want a low APR rate. We want a high APR rate. Why? Because the interest is coming back to the estate, the all caps name, or your straw man, or your principal, however you want to put it. Okay? Now, of course, you're going to have to go to court for these credit cards. You think somebody's going to let you get a revolving credit card just because you took some classes? No. All right? No. No. And if you do this wrong, they can shut your credit card down. There are repercussions, but there are also counters. If they cut my credit card off, I can do an emergency lawsuit. All right? This applies for any amount. So imagine going to apply for credit. And then again, my next question, how many of y'all gave an amount when you apply for the credit card? All right. All right. Think about it. You didn't. You just signed up. You just applied, I mean, you just seen what they was going to give you. Right? That sounds like a kid. Well, I'm going to wait till my mama give me something to see what she going to give me. I'm going to see what she going to approve me for. Exactly. You didn't go to the bank and say, hey, I need $100,000 line of credit. Okay. And then they say, okay, we can run your credit and see if you can get approved for that amount. All right. Because now when they ignore it or if they decline you, all right, you can leverage your security collateral. All right. Let them know that you're not here to go off of income based or credit reporting based. You're here to leverage your security collateral as an investor. All right. So now once they say no again, you can start building your private administrative process, which then would turn into a public administrative claim. All right. Now, if you want me to do that process for you, meaning build the public administrative process, private administrative process, all right, that service is 3,500. All right. Now, for there's a few of you that I gave a deal for 3,000. All right. I'm still honor that 3,000 for those that I told. All right. But for those that would like this service, all right, it is 3,500. Now, why is it 3,500? It's because after we do our private administrative process and then go into our public administrative process, all right, we are literally lining you up for all the money that you came out of pocket. That's why I talk a lot about unearned interest. All right, so that the fee that you're giving me to move forward, you're going to get that back in the damages that we're going to claim, because I don't want you to leave money on the table after we build the public administrative or private administrative process. In the public administrative process, we can also have them do for our declaratory relief to go ahead and zero out the original notes, which is now going to make all the payment that you came out of pocket look like an overpayment. Okay. So, but we got to play chess, family. Again, I'm giving the game right now because a lot of folks aren't going to be able to do it how I'm doing it. There's going to be people like, I'm not going to do what you. I'm not like, trust and believe I'm really in the gym. Okay. All right. Not okay. It's not on me. It's in me. Okay. It's not on me. It's in me. No zest. All right. So when you understand that this service is available for you, some of y'all might say it sounds too good to be true. That's fine and dandy. All right. But I do want y'all to understand, when you get results with banks on this level, you're going to have to sign NDAs. All right. There's things that I have situated that I haven't told anyone. Why? Because I don't want to say something and that person go tell that person, and that person, well, you know, he got this. Well, you know, now if my NDA or if that gets out, all right, now they could possibly come sue me. You see what I'm saying? So again, this is not something where you getting and you rushing to my comments to say, Mesa got me a credit card. Mess, because now all eyes coming to you. Now they going to your page. Hey, I know someone that got an unlimited credit. I know someone. That's not a good look, family. All right? That's not a good look. Okay? Because all that's going to make do, can I see it? Now they know that you got a revolving credit card. Well, you might as well just buy me something. Well, you getting it right back. You might as well. And that's why certain things you really got to keep on the low, because people gonna think you Mr. or Mrs. Unlimited. All right, so acting poor a little bit actually does showing certain things. Okay, all right, but yes, that service is available. All right, now I would say apply for that service, or tap in with that service. Why? Because the faster we build that process and faster we build a court case, that's going to get those attorneys to start actually talking to us, or actually saying, okay, what can we do to kind of come to an agreement? All right, that's the negotiation we're trying to get to. Now, if they don't negotiate, that's fine, because we're well built to go all the way to quote unquote trial. Because the reason I'm saying quote unquote, because I can't give you legal advice, but I can give you lawful awareness, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, read between the lines on that. Go tell whoever you need to tell. All right, now credit card. Now imagine you getting 100,000 credit card. All right, and we understand how to revolve it. All right, some of y'all don't even spend 100,000. Some of y'all don't even make $100,000 for a year. All right, so imagine having $100,000 line of credit for the month. All right. And I was trying to tell some people, they was telling me, well, what if I want more than $100,000? What if I want 500,000 for the month? And I asked him, like, tell me your lifestyle. He said he works. He said he does it. I said, how much is your bills all together? I think he told me like 5,000. I said, so please tell me, where are you going to spend 500,000? Because now you're going to have credit that you're not even using. That's going to keep getting rolled, and that doesn't look good. Okay. You're literally now, because it looks like greed. You asked for this line of credit because you said you was going to use it. All right, not for you to come to pile it up. This is not savings. You see what I'm saying? You don't save credit. And I know a lot of peasants are going to do that, all right? Going to be trying to say, well, I ain't going to use it all. I'm going to use it for next month. Forgetting that it self-replenishes the next month, all right? And that's why I say this is high-level business. This is not for people that's trying to get fast cash or trying to make, quote-unquote, money moves. This has nothing to do with money moves, okay? This is not nothing to do with getting a bag, okay? This is about utilizing your rights so you can live comfortably. All right, but first you have to do your performance before you can live comfortably. All right, somebody said, I think 500K or half, that is good. I mean, yeah, it might be, but what does your lifestyle look like? Do you have any ideas for that? All right, and again, yes, I'm challenging a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all ask for these amounts, and that's why I say it doesn't even matter about you finding how much are in these accounts, because you're going to see a number you can't pronounce, and you're going to see a number that's really going to really start making you glitch. All right, you're like, what is that mine? Is you mean to tell me that's mine? I can use it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so I'm here to say, don't even look to see how much is in these accounts. Cause I try to keep myself quote unquote grounded by saying, does Warren Buffett know how much is in his accounts? Imagine walking up to Warren Buffett or what's the guy that owns Amazon? All right, imagine walking up to them and saying, hey, do you know how much money you have? And them saying a damn number. Yeah, I got 13 billion, 600 million, 500 million, 300 dollars and 36 cents. All right, but you know what type of people can't tell you how much money they got? Poor people. And again, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just being honest with you. If you know how much money you have, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I know how much money I have. Meaning I'm still poor. All right. Meaning I haven't reached that level of damn. I want to be lost in a now, granted, I've seen how much was in my accounts as far as like a private side. All right. I looked at my phone bill 3 years ago and it was 17 million. All right. But I'm saying the master account, all right, I don't want to go find that amount. All right. Somebody said I'm a fast talker. Wait, I can't help. I'm from the South, man. You know, my grandma talks super fast. You just got to understand my family. I'll try to slow down a little bit. My apologies, though. I don't want you to think I'm a fast talker from, slick talker or anything like that. I do have a gift of gab, though. I'm not ashamed of that. All right, but I also do talk fast. Somebody said it's not greed, it's dominion. It's not dominion if you don't have a plan. Greed is trying to claim it all and not having a plan for it. You know how many people jump in this game and say, I want to claim all I want to cut all the banks off. I want to just do all that. And it's like, why would you cut the banks off? And they're the ones that's tripling, they're quadrupling your asset. You're not doing it because you don't know how to flip it and dip it, dip it and flip. You don't know how to stack it and flip it. All right? You don't know how to do that. Banks know how to do that. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Use what you need. Don't use out of greed. Oh, I just made up another slogan. I got to put that on the shirt. Use what you need. Don't use out of greed. Okay? All right? Use what you need. You know you ain't spending no $500,000 a month. You can't even find those things because you go buy something this month for what you gonna do? Go blow 500,000 when that wasn't even your original lifestyle from the get go? And I'm not saying level up, but I'm saying like family, it sounds good, okay? It sounds great, all right? It sounds great. I don't even think people understand how different it is going from a Honda to a Rolls Royce. You can't have a Honda mindset when you have a Rolls Royce. All right, you can't park that Rolls Royce in the back of the damn parking lot. All right, you have to valet, meaning you can't even take the Rolls Royce to certain places. You see what I'm saying? Meaning, like that Honda, you can take that thing anywhere. No offense to anybody that got Hondas, but having to understand, I'm making an analogy. All right, you can't have a Honda mindset with Rolls Royce thoughts. All right, it doesn't match. You're going to get yourself killed. All right? You're going to get yourself killed. Y'all want to know the brutally honest? You're going to die. All right? And I know y'all probably saying, Lucid, I ain't going to die. Okay, whatever. All right? I'm trying to let you know. All right? You don't have no type of plan for this and you think it's going to be willy-nilly. You telling everybody you got a $500,000 bond. You got an unlimited credit card. Man, what? You sound like the first one that's about to get kidnapped for ransom. What? You said you got a what? You got a $100,000 car, unlimited. Okay, I bet. All right. Okay. What? Are y'all serious? And y'all be wanting my students to come on here and prove to y'all, just so y'all can say, "Wow." You see what I'm saying? And again, I don't mean to be an asshole or nothing like that, but it's like, yo, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Somebody said God didn't give me the somebody said, and I love people say this. Somebody said God didn't give me the spirit of fear, but God also said you shall perish for the lack of knowledge. All right, meaning you ain't gotta be scared to perish. All right, you see what I'm saying? You know how many people that wasn't scared that got knocked out. All right, you know how many bullies that wasn't scared that got knocked out. All right. So yeah, you don't gotta be scared. I'm telling you. All right. If you don't have the proper information, you will perish. All right. It ain't about God got your back. All right. God don't got nobody back that ain't reading their contract. So you been out here butt naked by yourself. And again, I'm not here to get religious. All right. I'm not afraid of knowing what I know. Okay. And I'm not okay, I'm not insecure in that aspect, okay? I've done my due diligence, I've read, I've been able to do certain things spiritually, all right, that I don't feel like a lot of people have, all right? So again, I'm not here to put anybody down, but I also am not too insecure to speak what I know is true. Okay? So understanding that, all right, if you feel like you protected, well, why you not protected when it come to contracts then? Hmm? If you so protected, why are you not protected when it comes to contracts? Hmm? Huh? Why? All right? Because there's a missing link there. All right? There's a missing link there. There's something that's missing. If you're a person that gets into accounts and the first thing you do is get the keys and say, "Thank you, God," that's not God, my friends. You didn't even read the contract. What God is that? What God told you not to read and then sign? Because last time I checked, when I went to sleep, my mama taught me the prayer, lead us not into temptation. Forgive us from evil. God is the kingdom, power and glory forever and ever. Y'all forgot that? Lead us not into temptation. Didn't you walk your ass into there and didn't sign, didn't read, and just said, oh my gosh, I got my God. Me and my kids did this. Thank you, God. That is not God. And again, I'm not saying there's not a God. I'm just saying with your interpretation of that moment of God, I'm not going to let you disrespect the source like that. That is not God, okay? I don't care what your mama told you, okay? Your mama didn't read contracts. My mom didn't read contracts either, all right? My daddy didn't either, all right? That's why I say we can't really, they was good people, but we kind of grow up a little bit, all right? We got to read our contracts. All right, because every time we don't, we are literally walking into temptation. Imagine walking into a strip club and trying to tell yourself, I don't want to look at no butt, I don't want to look at no ass, I don't want no breasts. Man, why are you in the strip club then? I just came for the food. Like, come on, man. All right, that's what's going on. You can't do that. You can't blame things on the devil. And when you're not even reading yourself, you're a form of a devil. You're living backwards. Y'all ever seen the word live or lived backwards? Did y'all ever? Have you ever flipped the word live backwards? Have you ever flipped the word lived backwards? So when someone say you're living backwards, that means they're saying you're evil. You're a devil. So for anyone that's not reading contracts, what they be doing? No disrespect. All right, but yeah, my friend, you're a devil. You're a demon. And I'm not here to cast any spells. I'm just here. We're going off the path you're walking down. What footsteps? Who are you worshiping? You can't worship two. You can't worship two. All right? You can't not read and then say this is glory to be God, because which God are you serving? Because you're living backwards, and lived backwards is devil. Okay? So what are we doing? All right? Now, again, you can learn this on your own. I have classes. All right? Of course, I'm going to encourage you to sign up for the service. All right? So we can attack it for you. All right? So while we're doing the account for you, you can be studying. It's not like we're not going to be sending you material. All the documentation that we're sending off, we're sending it to you. All right? For example, let's say you see you want a credit card. All right, you're going to send us the application. All right, we're going to build your process for you. All right, we're going to send it back to you for you to send to the corporation. All right, we're your financial advisors. All right, we're professionals at this. All right, I don't know if people understand that. All right, but yes, we're a legitimate business. Okay. All right. So now if you sign up for that, now somebody asked me what is the turnaround time? All right. So think about it. So 20 days minimum for our public administrative process. No, my bad. For the private administrative process. That's us going against the corporation, that's reaching out to them, us giving them time to basically respond or decline. All right. If they don't say anything, we basically go to our second wave, third wave. So that first wave, second wave, third wave is what I call the private administrative process. That's 20 days. It could be faster if we make it more urgent, but I'm just give us 20 days for us to get past the private administrative process. So now when we get to the public administrative process, meaning the claim, okay? Now I know in Georgia, as soon as you file a claim, the defendant has 30 days to respond. Okay, so whatever state you're in, because y'all remember I got clients from all different states. All right, so we got to base it off of your jurisdiction, your court's rules and regulations. It may be a little different. You might can give them 15 days. It might be 20 days. I know for sure in Georgia it's 30 days, and I believe in Florida it's 20 days. All right. So understand that going through all that, through those 30 days or 20 days that we're waiting for them to respond, once we get to our public administrative process, that's when you're going to see a lot of the action start happening. That's when you're going to see them reaching out saying, oh, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? Because remember, they didn't take you serious before. All right, they didn't take you serious before. All right, but now they have to take you serious because you have made a public claim, and that's why it's so important. All right, somebody say their state is 21 days, even better. Okay. But after we do that, all right, we file our claim, we send away our days, we wait for our hearing. Everything is already built up from them declining or not saying anything. So the case is already put together. We just have to present it. Okay. Somebody said, what about Arizona? Come on, Latasha. ChatGPT. Come on now. If that's where you live, you go look it up. Come on now. I don't live there, y'all. Come on now. I don't know. It's Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. All right. Y'all should be telling me how many days. Hey, I'm in California. It takes 20 days. Hey, I'm in Maine. It takes 10 days. Come on now. All right. But that's the process that we do for you. I would say sign up for that. Somebody says 20 days for Arizona. There you go. Boom. All right. Sign up for us. And again, we're going to be we're going to be filtering all the documents through you. So you're going to be the middleman or middle woman. All right. So you're going to have the corporation. It's going to be you. It's going to be us. All right. You're going to get documentation from the corporation, sent to us. We're going to compile the information, compile your packet together, your security collateral packet, send it to you so you to review it. Make sure we didn't miss no spelling, address is correct. All right, then you're going to send it to them. So it looked like it's coming from you. We are simply your financial advisors. All right. Yes, your financial advisors. Okay. Now again, I'm harping more on the credit cards because the faster we get that knocked out, you have a revolving credit card. You will have to sign an NDA. I'm telling you to sign an NDA with the corporation just so you can build a rapport with them. Because now, if you have an NDA with that corporation, it shows them that you're not trying to basically tell the world and hey y'all, candy over here. Like, no, you're trying to keep it in-house. Let them know that you plan on doing business for a long time. All right. That lets them know, okay, this is somebody that's mature. Okay. All right, cool. We can kind of open up our banking secrets to them. Not that they're going to say that, but now they can kind of, open up the doors a little bit for you for certain negotiations that wouldn't have happened if you didn't do the NDA. All right. But I'm telling you to do an NDA. Don't worry about proving to the world that you got it. Live you a private life. All right. When somebody see you pulling up in nice cars or you live a good life, somebody asks you, what do you do for a living? Just let them know I'm an investor. All right. Because that's what y'all are. You're not a worker. You don't work at the Burger King. You're not a forklift operator. You're not a truck driver. All right. You're an investor. They don't even got to know about your income world. All right. Because you invest in corporations every time you give an application. Every time. Okay, exactly. You're a businessman, you're a businesswoman. All right. Now, I have other services as well. Now, that's the credit card service. I say that because I know a lot of people need that spending money every month. Now, imagine having a revolving $20,000. All right. Now, a lot of people don't even spend $20,000 a month. All right. A lot of people don't spend $20,000 a month. Okay. So imagine being able to get that revolved. Now you can sit back and actually learn the things you need to learn. You don't feel like you pushed to pay all your bills because now you got a credit card that can cover your phone bill, car note, all that. All right. All that together. All right. Just until you can basically knock those accounts individually. And some people always say, well, why do you didn't start off with doing this first? All right, because I understood credit cards is a little bit more complex. All right, as far as a lot of these companies, if you don't do it right, and we do it right. All right, but before when we were just sending our claim, a lot of folks was probably getting their account shut down. All right, with no type of articulation of why. All right, and we don't want that to happen. All right, so now we're telling folks to understand security interests. Let us do it for you just for the first round. All right, at least you'll get the documentation and see how you can do it for yours. All right, but I would at least say just see how it's done right the first time instead of you trying to learn it and oh man, it's not something you play with. All right. Now, off of credit cards, we also have services for new homes. All right, if you need an acquisition for a home, for sure, depending on the price, we would recommend you to sign up for our trust services as well. But we can give you a package deal, build you a trust, also acquire you an asset with that trust. All right. Now, if you already have a trust, we can go ahead and utilize that as well. All right. Now, new home acquisitions. All right. New home acquisitions, including trust, is 3,500. All right, is 3,500. Now, let's say you already have a trust. All right, we can do it for 3,000. All right. Now, trust. All right, trust services. All right. We do living trust for 1,500. We do dynasty trust for 5,000. All right. If you don't know the difference from those, please use your chat GBT, see the difference. All right. I'll give you a little basis on them though. A dynasty trust lasts for 100+ years. All right, a living trust lasts for the amount of years that you're alive. As soon as you die, it's a wrap. Unless what we recommend is you add a dynasty clause. You can add a dynasty clause in your living trust. That way, once you die, your trust still lasts 21 years after death. All right. So that's the difference between those two. Those are the prices. Now let's talk about current contracts. All right. We have current contract services as well. Let's say you have a current mortgage, you have a current mortgage, current car contract, you had a current lease. All right. Now for the full process for that, we do 2,000 per account. Okay, 2,000 per account. All right. Now these is current. All right, not credit cards. We're talking about mortgages, car contracts, leases, student loans. You got tax garnishments that you want to settle. All right, or situate. I don't want to say settle. Situate. All right. Those is what we attack as well. All right. Remember, the foundation is utilizing all accounts. We are leveraging your security interests. All right. Then they cannot deny us of that. All right. That's the prices for those current accounts. Again, 2,000 for all current accounts. Now, again, we're lining you straight for your unearned interest. For y'all just thinking about the price, think about it like this. This is how it should look for the full process. All right, let's say a credit card. All right, let's say you find your new credit card. You want to sign up for that service. You pay 3,500. 3,500. You give us at least 2 months to build the private administrative process and the public administrative process. You're going to be getting documents throughout the process, understanding what's going on. All right. Again, our claim that we're going to make is all the unearned interest that you came out of pocket. So that 3,500 you paid me, trust and believe, you're about to get that back as soon as you get that ruling in court. And if you don't get the ruling in court, you'll get a settlement. All right. The reason why I'm saying that, because the corporation that you're going against, they do not want this to go to trial. They do not want this to be a public case law. And a lot of folks ask me, why isn't there more case law? And I try to tell them, when you understand what's really going on, it will be idiotic for a bank to go all the way to trial and get a case law against them. Before that happens, they'll, hey, let's talk. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get to that point, though. A lot of folks don't get to that point. All right. And that's why I'm saying the money that you pay up front, you're going to get that back, family. All right. But one thing I'm not doing, I don't do anything for free. I get a couple people that say, well, what if you do it for me and you just get the money back when because I'm not working for free. I don't do no IOUs. You know how many folks owe me money on this journey, y'all? All right. They lucky I ain't tagging them. Y'all know how many people owe me money from doing favors? All right. But say, hey, I got 8 kids, please, master, please, and I do it for him, and then it's like, hey, yo, where we at? Where we at? I just need a little. I'm like, come on, man, come on. I done built the whole case for you. Come on now. I done built the whole case for you. You're not even presenting the case on time, all right? So that's what it is, family. Look, I like to be transparent. I'm not here to be Mr. Professional of all professionals. I don't care about that. I'm a businessman, meaning I'm getting straight to it. If you don't accept that, I understand, all right? I'm sure I'm not for everybody. I get that. I've already made that amends with myself. I'm not going to try to be for everyone. I'm only for readers, all right? I get folks that come on here and say, hey, man, why are you priced so high? Why are you charging your people, as in saying, why are you charging, quote unquote, black people when we need this information? And I tell, quote unquote, black folks, if you really feel like you need this, go read your own contract, because my business is not a black owned business. I don't even identify as black. I identify myself as an American. Look, again, we ain't getting all into the racial things. All right. I feel like low vibration people focus on race and who's keeping you suppressed, because last time I checked, nobody in a white hood with a cone shape was telling me I couldn't read these laws. All right, so it's 2025. Nobody's suppressing me. You can't come guilt trip me with race. That's the one thing that's gonna make me right away. All right, come to me and saying, "Hey, you need to." I don't need to do nothing. All right, if you still think you're a slave, stay over there with the slaves. All right, there's some of us that thought we were slaves, but understand now, like, damn, we can read now. All right, we can't use that same excuse as our great grandma was using. All right, it's not the same word. A white man is not stopping me from getting results. I won $17,000 in court. A white person did not stop me. When I walked out or when I walked in, a white person gave me a, huh, okay? You see what I'm saying? But it was more folks that looked like myself that was calling me a scammer, saying, don't listen to him. He a prison lawyer, whatever. All right, all these. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not on that tip. All right, you're not gonna get me there. My business is for everyone: white, black, green, purple, clear. All right, long as you read, I'm with you. All right, those are my people. All right. But with that being said, y'all, that's pretty much what I have for y'all tonight. I'm going to leave these lives up, but you can't see the lives on TikTok, whichever one is TikTok. Y'all gonna have to come to my IG or my YouTube to see the live. All right, make sure y'all share this live, family, because again, we're not scared. All right, share this, y'all. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. All right, share it. Because again, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna read their contract and say, damn, there we go. He said I was gonna see where it says I give them a security interest. Damn, it's right here. And just keep following. Y'all follow the breadcrumbs. All right. Oh, before I forget, we will be in Houston. If y'all want to see us live in person, we will be in Houston. All right. Houston, the 30th and the 31st of next month, which is August. August 30th and 31st. We don't have the tickets up yet. All right. But I will make those tickets very low. Ticket price for that will be $50. All right. For general. All right. For VIP, it will be $400. Okay. So remember, I hope y'all hear me clearly. For general, all right, it's going to be 50. All right. For VIP, it's going to be 400. Okay. Houston, we have a solution. All right, we will be in Houston August 30th and August 31st. So make sure y'all tap in with that. Again, make sure y'all tap in with the subscription. Also, my mentorships, if y'all would like that. Oh, I almost forgot before I go. My, I guess my payment process is giving y'all some issues. If you have any issues with payment processes, just shoot me a DM. And we can just do Zelle or Cash App. I mean, we can go ahead and send you a code so you can just go right on there and grab that class or whatever it is that you need. All right. But with that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace and love. I might go live tomorrow. Not sure yet. All right. But if I don't go live tomorrow, make sure y'all read y'all contracts tomorrow. All right. Can y'all give me some eights? Give me some eights if you know you're going to read some of your contract tomorrow. All right. And don't lie to yourself. All right. Because you're putting it out there. And before I go, y'all, do y'all understand back in the 1800s, 1700s, when you lied to someone, they could shoot you dead in the spot where you stand? Did y'all know that? It was called your word was your bond. Meaning if you said you was going to do something, you didn't do it, man, you're getting shot. Okay? All right? So try to have that mentality. Now, I try to have that mentality now because I say a lot of things. I don't get around to them. So I try to say like, damn, if I would have not did that, I would have been dead right now. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of have you complete things. All right? And again, it's just some maniac mental strategies, you know, just to keep you on your toes. All right? But anyway, with that being said, y'all, peace and love.